Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. I've had plenty of misses to start 2025. I picked Clemson to make the college football playoffs. I picked Florida to make the college football playoffs. I do not think there was a bigger miss going into 2025 than me just straight up sleeping on Missouri going into the 2025 year. And I looked at this team from 2024, a team that I was so high on 12 months ago, and it just felt like they underperformed. It felt like to me they missed their shot at being a legitimate college football playoff team. And I didn't see the pathway for this team to be better in 2025. Well, guess what? I was dead wrong. I think we're looking at a Missouri team in 2025 that's better than the team that we saw in 2024. They have a gettable schedule. They're one of the most complete teams in the sport. We're looking at a legitimate college football playoff contender. Now, I want to get nitty gritty and talk about some players in position groups that are really surprising for Missouri throughout the first couple of weeks of the season. But I want to start just a little bit bigger picture. I want to start with what Coach Drink has built down there at Missouri. And what I mean by that is this is not just a good football team. This is a good program. And there's a stark difference when I say that. The good football teams, when they lose their good football players, they ain't so good anymore. The good programs lose good football players, but they're still good the next year. It's kind of what we're looking at with Missouri. I mean, they just seemingly reload, and you have to give so much credit to Coach Drink and this Missouri staff because the roster building that we're seeing down there, nothing short of elite. We are in a new landscape of college football where you still want to recruit the high school ranks at a high level. You still want to develop that talent, but you can also use the transfer portal to fill in the cracks and build your roster. How many football teams are doing a better job building their roster in this new era of college football than Coach Drink in Missouri? I mean, they still recruit the high school ranks really well. They're still one of the best player development programs that we see in the country, but they also consistently hit on their transfer portal additions. When you do those two things at a high level, you're going to have a good roster. And that's what we're seeing. You look at Missouri, and there's two things that stand out. Number one, really complete. Like, find me the glaring flaw that you see with this Missouri football team. Because guess what? There really isn't any, which I know is not super flashy to say. But go look at all these other top programs across the country. They might be really good football teams, but they all seemingly have a weakness. I'm not sure if Missouri does. Now, the second part to this equation is the most important things about this sport, Missouri does at a really high level. They run the football well, they stop the run really well, and they get after the passer. If you do those three things well, you're going to win a lot of football games. That's exactly what Missouri does. It's one of the best rushing attacks that you see in the entire country. They're top 10 in the country against the run. And this pass rush, led by Damon Wilson, led by Zion Young, led by Darius Smith, that might be the best trio of edge rushers that you see in the entire country. It's absolutely elite. They're sacking the quarterback 12% of the time. That is top 3 in the nation through 4 games. When you are complete, when you do the important stuff at an elite level, that's when you look at a really dangerous football team. That is what we've seen from Missouri up until this point. Now, I want to get a little bit more nitty gritty and kind of recap what we've seen from this football team during the first 4 weeks before we do, and as always, to the Missouri fans, it's going to be really fun talking this football team over the next couple of weeks and months. And I apologize to the Missouri fans. We didn't talk a ton of Missouri in the offseason because I didn't have the confidence, and I apologize for sleeping on Missouri. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. Y'all do enjoy the content. Consider subscribing to the channel. More importantly than that, I would love to hear from the Missouri fans in the comment section. What are the expectations that you guys have for this football team sitting here now in 2025? Because to me, they've completely changed. It's not like we thought Missouri was a football team in 2025. We just didn't know if they were going to be a legit threat in the college football playoffs. All of a sudden, you're watching this team play and say, the expectations, they are slowly changing. Would love to hear the expectations from you guys in the comments section. Without further ado, let's get into it. I want to start with Beau. This was one of my, I guess you could say, holdups. And it's not necessarily like I thought Beau Pribula was going to be a bad quarterback. There just wasn't a ton of sample size of him being an all-purpose quarterback, right? was kind of a gadget quarterback at Penn State. You saw some good things, but you didn't see it all that consistently. I had my questions about translating that to the SEC immediately in 2025. You are seeing a very similar thing with Beau Pribula that you're seeing down there with Tommy Castellanos at Florida State. And it's not necessarily because they're the same quarterbacks, but you're seeing two elite offensive staffs build their offense around their quarterback and say, hey, we got a quarterback that I don't know if he's going to be a top 50 NFL draft pick, but he's got a unique set of skills, and we're going to build this offense around what our quarterback does best. Run game's been elite. Beau Pribula is certainly adding to the run game. What stands out to me, way more consistent of a thrower of the football than I think a lot of us thought. And it's not only the consistency. I mean, we're making some high level throws, 72% completion percentage, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But you turn on the film and say, he's making some throws that you just didn't think you had in Beau Pribula's bag. Been way better than I think a lot of us expected. And you have to give a massive hat tip to Coach Drink. Because I don't think there were a lot of people lining up to go grab Beau Pribula in the transfer portal. Missouri was, and they're building an offense around him that's elite. Now, the biggest storyline is Ahmad Hardy. Now, I don't want to sleep on Jamal Roberts either, because Jamal Roberts can play too. Ahmad Hardy currently is the best running back in all of college football. 37 missed tackles forced on the year. He's nearly averaging 10 missed tackles forced a game. He is becoming more and more comfortable running that outside zone run scheme that Missouri loves to run. And here's the exciting part is, one, this kid's a true sophomore. So he's probably only getting better at the sport. And as he continues to get more reps within this Missouri offense, running that outside zone that this offensive line is blocking up extremely well, you're only going to get better with Ahmad Hardy at your running back spot. Here's the other thing, getting some nice development from your pass catchers too. Like, you went out and added Kevin Coleman. We knew he was going to come and be that wide receiver one. I think you've seen some really good things from Brett Norfleet as well. He's doing exactly what we kind of imagined he'd do. I don't think you saw the jump you wanted to see as a sophomore. You're seeing that jump take place year 3. But then, like, Marquise Johnson, Speedy Johnson, I believe they call him down there, taking the top off the defense like we know he can. You're getting really good reps from Joshua Manning. I think Donovan Olabode eventually will become a factor in this Missouri offense as well. I was concerned about the weapons that Beau Pribula had. Kevin Coleman I liked. Wasn't really sure if we had enough outside of Kevin Coleman. I was dead wrong about that too. Then you look at the offensive line and say this offensive line might be better than what it was last year. I know Caden Green's banged up right now. In fact, hey, we started our backup left tackle against South Carolina Saturday night. Thought we looked fine. And Caden Green has been awesome at the left tackle position before the injury. This is an offensive line that's – here's my question. How many offensive lines are we trusting more in the SEC right now? I don't think you have a ton of trust in Georgia's offensive line. Texas's offensive line still a work in progress. LSU's offensive line can't really run the football. I mean, you start stacking these offensive lines, and all of a sudden Missouri's a hell of a lot higher than we thought they would be in the SEC. We just ran down this whole offense, and there's not really much to complain about. It's really complete, and you have some people, or it's not some people, but some players, some position groups that are playing like some of the best players in all of college football. Most notably Ahmad Hardy, best running back in college football up until this point in 2025. Then you go to the defensive side of the football. Very similar conversation. Like, one, where's the weakness? What's the part of this defense? And I get you gave up some explosive plays to South Carolina's passing attack. I don't think there's a ton of Missouri fans that are super concerned about Missouri's secondary. But here's the thing that stands out to me is you're solid at all 3 levels. But the most important parts about playing good defense, we're doing a really damn good job of, right? We're stopping the run. 2.8 yards per carry allowed. That's 8th best in the country. You stop the run on first and second down. You set up those obvious pass rushing situations. This is a defensive line that in pass rush, it's damn near unblockable. Damon Wilson's one of the pure best pass rushers that we see in the country. Zion Young's doing his thing on the other side. Darius Smith is certainly contributing as well. Chris McClellan, you talk about player development. I know he's not a homegrown guy. He came from Florida. Consistently getting better with this Missouri program. Like, I'm looking at this defensive line saying I like it a lot. Josiah Trotter was a monster addition. for Missouri in the transfer portal. We have a lot of confidence in the secondary. Where's the flaw? They ain't no flaw. And we're doing the most important things at a really damn high level. And then the last part about it, it's important when you're talking about playing in the SEC, what this schedule looks like. One of the things I love the most is I love how your big games are at home and your big games are coming off buys. Right? If you want to make the college football playoffs, that Alabama game on October 11th feels really, really damn big. Well, you play UMass this weekend. You should win comfortably. Then you go into a bye week, and then you're talking about Missouri hosting Alabama. Maybe game day is going to be there too. Very, very gettable game. You go on the road to play Auburn. That's a tricky one because I do think Auburn's good, and you go on the road to play Vanderbilt. I think there's a very good chance that Missouri wins 2 out of the 3 of your football games in October, and then you go into another bye week. And then you get Texas A&M, and I'll say this, I'd much rather play Texas A&M at home than go over there to College Station. Mississippi State at home, that should be a win. You go on the road to Oklahoma, and then you go on the road to Arkansas. You feel like if you can go on the road and beat Oklahoma, well, golly, I think we're looking at a college football playoff team. And not only a college football playoff team, this team is dangerous. You know, the thing that I've learned for Missouri throughout the first couple of weeks of the season, I don't think there's a team that Missouri does not have a chance to beat. That's not something Missouri could say 5 years ago. Even when Missouri had some good football teams, it always felt like, hey, when we went and played Alabama or when we went and played Georgia, you kind of felt like there were some games where Missouri maybe didn't have a chance to win. It's not how we're talking about this Missouri team this year because you're seeing two different things. One, Missouri is much, much better than we thought they were going to be. But at the same time, the top end of the SEC, the top end of the sport has definitely come back down. Really, really, it's going to be an exciting next couple of weeks. This Missouri team, way more dangerous than many of us thought. And if you continue to do the things you're doing well, there's not a game Missouri can't win on their schedule. And that's what should excite the Missouri fans. All right, we'll sign out there. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.